Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. Buckle up, as it's a long one, and don't forget to listen to the end of the story to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories, guys, and please like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. This is going to be a very long one. I apologize in advance. My wife and I got married very recently this year, in a gorgeous ceremony, surrounded by our friends and family. We were together for 4 years prior. This last year has been monumentally stressful for the two of us, both work-wise and with the wedding planning. However, the day couldn't have been more perfect, and it was undoubtedly the absolute best day of our lives, making all of the trouble and stress more than worth it. I make very good money and provide for both of us, while my wife takes care of finances, bills, plans our trips, and generally keeps me uplifted when I'm stressed with work. I adore my wife. She's beautiful, smart, extremely well-read, and has always shared my sense of humor. When we met, I couldn't believe that there was someone as wonderfully goofy and weird as I was, and I knew very early on that she was the one for me. We made it through the virus together, through distance at times, and I never thought that anything could sway my feelings for her. We booked an expensive honeymoon in a tropical location, scheduled a few weeks after the wedding. She'd been there before and told me she had always wanted to go back. I paid, while she, as per usual, organized the trip. The first few days were amazing. We're not super active on our vacations, and we're just happy to drink, go to the beach for the whole day, and out to nice dinners in the evening. The second hotel we stayed at is where things took a turn. While out, my wife and I started chatting to a few other couples at the beachside bar restaurant. We're both very social, so we like asking other couples about themselves, sharing funny comparisons, and including each other in the laughs. She was getting a little tipsy, but nothing too bad or out of the ordinary. At some point, she began to start slipping into drunk territory, and I started ordering us more food and suggesting she take it easy, which she obliged. Despite this, she later kept ordering more drinks. I asked her to please take it easy, because I know her pacing at this stage. She got quite agitated and stated that this was her honeymoon too, and she wanted to relax. While talking some more, she got noticeably more drunk pretty fast. I was talking to the couple on my right when I heard my wife tell the girl next to her that she had a one that got away, who she wished she hadn't let go, and that she settled for me. My face, my stomach, my heart, everything dropped. I can't imagine what I must have looked like in that moment, but the people she was talking to got very quiet and awkward. The couple next to me tried changing the subject. Still, my wife went on. She gestured toward me and began to discuss that I wasn't her type at all, and went on to describe something entirely different. We had made jokes in the past about not being each other's initial type, but that since meeting each other, we were both the type we both never knew we wanted. It seems this wasn't true on her end. She patted my head condescendingly and said, "Unfortunately, this was the best I could do. But life goes on." She wasn't laughing. She was completely deadpan. I was absolutely crushed. This didn't seem at all like the person I had been with over the last 4 years. I tried to get her to put her drink down, let me pay the check, and leave, when she outright snapped. The waitress had refused her when she asked for another drink, and she stormed off to the bathroom. At this stage, the people she was talking to had migrated tables, and the couple next to me were trying to reassure me, despite the bomb that had clearly gone off. I went to go check on her after a few minutes. This turned to 20 more minutes, after which the waiting staff had to go in and retrieve her. She had been getting sick in the bathroom. She didn't say a word to me when she got out and just grabbed her stuff. In the interim, the other couple had picked up our check, which I was incredibly embarrassed about, but grateful for. They parted ways saying, "Happy honeymoon," in awkward, wincing smiles. I left with her, feeling utterly dumbstruck, embarrassed, concerned, and above all, just heartbroken. She spent the entire walk back to the hotel saying that she knew I was embarrassed of her behavior, adding, "You know what? I don't care. You're an embarrassment most of the time." She went to point out that she thought I was not funny or charismatic, as she had said in the past, but a clown, a laughingstock, and that our friends only put up with me out of niceties. She said that they all just saw me as a complete joke, and that I was just too stupid to notice. This was all being screamed at me, in front of as many people as you can imagine a popular destination spot would have, walking around in the main town, all while I was trying to keep her from stumbling out onto the street. I had turned from embarrassed to upset and completely numb. I felt as though my marriage had detonated then and there. I'm ashamed to say this, but in that moment, I imagined leaving her as soon as I got back home, and the ensuing embarrassment of having to explain to friends and family that my marriage had not even lasted a season without crumbling. We were getting into a semi-crowded elevator when she squirmed out and bolted off. I immediately ran back down 3 stories and spent the next 45 minutes trying to locate her on the hotel premise. Finally, we got back to the room, and she fell straight to sleep on the bed. I rolled her onto her side, tucked her in, and got her water. We were going to our 3rd stop at a resort the following morning, so I just stayed up and packed. To say I felt empty inside is a complete understatement. She woke up about 2 or 3 hours later asking what had happened, why I looked so upset. I asked if she was actually serious. If the most devastating part of our relationship, of any relationship I had ever been in, had not just happened for her. She seemed anxious, as if it were less than half coming back to her. So I told her everything she had done, as calmly as I could. I told her how much she had hurt and embarrassed me with what she had said. She was hysterical. She started screaming into the pillow, trying to hurt herself, screaming that she had ruined our honeymoon and our marriage, begging me not to leave her, telling me she didn't mean it. She was still fairly drunk. I told her to just go back to sleep, that I needed to go for a walk and have some time to think. She refused to give me it. She grabbed my arm while I asked her to let go, scratching me while I told her to just let me have space, screaming all the while. I stopped and just got into bed and told her I could not talk to her. We both went to sleep, but she woke me multiple times, telling me that we needed to talk through this and that I owed her that much. I just told her that I couldn't. I was shattered. I told her I didn't even know if I could finish the rest of the honeymoon and that I didn't know if I could go to the final resort we were staying at. I woke up the next morning. She had canceled our 5-day resort stay that we were due to be at in 6 hours, of which I received no refund. She cried, she apologized, she begged for me to hear her out, but there was literally nothing that could fix what she had said and how she talked to me after in that moment. She told me that it wasn't her, that she remembered none of it, and that she couldn't even begin to think of why she had said and done those things, that it wasn't how she felt at all, and that I was the best thing that ever happened to her, that I had to believe her after everything we had been through. Asking why I couldn't just trust her after all of this time together. This is getting very long, so to put the rest of the trip briefly, she used her savings to pay for a very expensive resort for us that day, apologizing for canceling the other one without asking first. She wanted to save the trip. For the rest of the trip, she was remorseful, she was kind, she was sweet, she was the person that I had fallen in love with. She seemed just as shattered and upset as I was. I tried to make the most of the rest of our stay, but it was obvious that I was still heartbroken, despite trying to keep it together. She cried on the plane home, and she cried most of the day we got back. Fast forward a couple of very awkward, sad, and tense days. She comes to me and lays out all of the changes she is going to make. She has always done the laundry, but didn't really do a lot of cleaning or cooking. In recent months, she would often get agitated when I would finish work and start doing it. She promised to do it all, or at least most of the household stuff, to take the pressure off of me. She started dressing up, doing her makeup more often. She even cooked me a fancy dinner and decorated, to show how much she appreciated me and the life I had given her. Her words, not mine. She told me that she had only said those things because she was insecure about not working, about herself and our friend group, and how she had felt that our mutual friends liked me more than her. I don't believe that last part to be true in the slightest. More than half of them were actually her friends before they were mine. I asked about the one that got away, as difficult as it was, and she said that she didn't know why she said that, but she didn't feel that way. She said that I was her type, that I was the only one for her, and that we would spend as long as it took to make it up to me. We see a lot of relationship posts re-uploaded to TikTok, and one thing I absolutely cannot stand is that the couples cannot seem to fathom the concept of actually communicating to each other in situations like this. And that's what we did. We communicated. We talked openly and honestly. I told her firmly and candidly about all of the changes I needed. I asked about what I needed to change, what could have made her so full of contempt for me in that moment on our honeymoon, and what we could both do to avoid it. Things started to pick up over the next few days, and it seemed like things were going to be okay. There were some lingering things, of course. I wasn't initiating intimacy. I just couldn't. I felt like a complete loser. I felt completely undesirable, questioning how anyone could see anything in me if this is how she felt. She tried on multiple occasions, but I just asked her for time to recover. She gave me that space and reassured me that she would wait as long as it took for me to feel up to it again. We both always had a high S drive, and that was now completely shot. Finally, over time, we were intimate again. She cooked, cleaned, did sweet things for me, acted like she did when we first met. It really did feel like this whole nightmare might have been a net positive. Like it had kicked some things that were off in our relationship back into place. Like it was the wake-up call we needed. I still had intrusive thoughts, but we communicated and she would compliment and reassure me. She would constantly ask if how she was acting and the things she was doing for me were noticeable. I told her that they were, and that I appreciated them, and I tried to be more aware of any flaws I myself might have in my day-to-day. It's been some weeks since then, and things have started to slip back. The nice dinner stopped almost immediately, as did the nice gestures. She started to become irritable with me with small things, unrelated to me. She stopped doing household things consistently, and is again irritated when I ask if she can help with them while I'm working. I don't work the longest hours on earth by any means, but my work weeks are 60 to sometimes 70 hours. I'll find her downstairs playing video games or watching streams, and asking her to help out is leading to strained discussions at times. She doesn't not do housework at all, but it's absolutely noticeably less already. She had started therapy with BetterHelp. I have no experience with that app and don't know if it is reputable, but that stopped after about 2 weeks. We have long discussions and things get better momentarily, but they keep resetting, and I feel like I'm in a state of déjà vu with everything. Again, I previously stated that I hate that couples can't just talk to each other in these kind of posts, but we've been talking. She'll turn around and still do sweet things, but I just can't bring myself to look past what happens sometimes, and it's still eating at me. My confidence is completely fine some days, and others it's just on the floor. I still love her, but I cannot say with any confidence that I feel in love with her anymore, and I don't know what to do. I never thought I would see myself on this end of one of these posts. She's talked to her mother about it, and I cannot bring myself to say anything to my parents or friends. I'm so embarrassed and haven't been able to confide in anyone about this, aside from her. Thank you all for taking the time to read this. Any advice for moving forward would be so appreciated. Have a wonderful day, all of you. Edit. I'm trying my best to read through all the messages. I'll be honest, a lot are difficult to process. I see, acknowledge, and appreciate the ones telling me to look out for my best interests, but also the ones telling me to actually ask my wife about her aspirations or goals, which surely cannot be sitting around in household tasks. In the past, it's been touchy and or difficult to get her to pursue the field of her degree. It's creative and daunting, and she has often gotten defensive and dismissive of my help in the past. This morning, I asked her to lay out a realistic and specific plan to get back into working, with the goal of working towards the career she actually wants. I have never been to therapy, but I'm going to look into one-on-one sessions and go from there. No matter what outcome, after reading this, I clearly need to work on me, whatever that might entail. I'm going away on a trip with some guy friends for a couple of days, and while they are mutual friends, I'm going to try and open up to them as non-biased as I can. I know that these next steps seem like baby steps and might be frustrating to read from your end, but we are both religious. Divorce is not the option I want to go down if I can help it. However, you're all right. I cannot be miserable for the rest of my life, and if no effort is made, it's looking like that might have to be a route. Well, I don't think I could forgive and forget if I was OP. I could never ever come back from this. What an awful woman. She may seem sweet and all that good stuff, but she sure did let OP see her true colors, time and time again. She meant what she said while she was drunk, even if just a little, and is using OP to get a good ride in life. This is evidenced by her behavior afterward. She made some effort, was nice to OP for a while, and now she thinks OP is mollified, has settled back into just being a passenger in OP's life, while OP pays for everything. OP can't trust her, sober or drunk, because what she really thinks is what she said while drunk, but most especially demonstrates to OP while sober. She doesn't care about OP, she just wants OP to keep giving her the easy ride. And now let's hear the community's opinion. Rainbow and Honeybee says, "This is a tough one. My question is, in the happiest moment, why did she act like that? You provide for her. She doesn't need to work. She gets irritated when you ask her to help with housework while she's playing video games. To me, sounds like she's using you. She married you because it's an easy life for her, so she has a lot of unhappiness bottled up in her just to keep it going. That's maybe why she got so drunk and expressed her true feelings on what was meant to be one of the happiest moments of her life. Because it wasn't. She has settled for the easy life, and she isn't truly happy about it. But I may be totally wrong. It may just have been a silly drunken incident. 89 Niam says, as a woman who used to drink a lot more and also easily black out, nothing I've been told I said when drunk came from nowhere. It all has roots in some feeling or memory my drunk mind is fixated on. I'm sorry, but she has given you a glimpse into her true feelings, panicked, and tried to smooth it over. However, it's taken more effort than she's realized she's willing to give. Whether this other person she referenced was an actual ex or a crush, it appears that she's looking to stick it out with you because you're the safe and intelligent option. You're giving her more than she deserves, and I don't think anyone in your life, after hearing this story, would judge you. You're still young, and you have so much time to find someone worthy of your love and affection. Edit. To add, please seek therapy for yourself. There's danger here that this experience will color your perception of other women and will manifest as baggage in other relationships. No Tomorrow 2047 says, the life you've given her. Well, damn, she said it herself. She loves not working and you paying for everything. It's possible since she's only 25, she's realized her regrets spending her early 20s with you and low-key thinks she could have found someone else or wishes she had gotten back with that other dude.